Welcome to Southern Arizona Wing Chun. This is the first in a series of videos covering the how, what, and why of Wing Chun wooden dummy training.
We'll be focusing on what we develop with the dummy, which is the Wing Chun principles: structure, positioning, distance, timing, power, control, balance, body unity, target. All of the principles that we are trying to develop through Wing Chun. And we're going to be talking about how we develop those principles using the dummy. So for today's video, we're going to focus on primarily structure, position, distance, and some footwork and some hand techniques to start with. So let's get started. Okay, since we're talking about distance today, the first thing we need to do is find our correct distance from the dummy. So I'm going to stand in front of the dummy. I'm going to raise my hands straight in front of me, and I want my fingertips to be about the middle of the sides of the dummy. The center of the dummy here, my fingertips, my middle finger is going to be right about that point. I don't want to lean or lean in any direction to find that. So say if I'm too far away, I don't want to lean forward. Now that's not my center. I'm too far away. I want to be straight up and down, find my center. From here, I can drop my elbows, pull my hands to the side, open my stance, just like you do in all the other forms. Open the stance the same way. From here, when I put my hands in my ready position, my contact point is in about the first third of the dummy arm on both sides. So this is my correct position where I can have strong structure, the correct V shape, the correct distance from the dummy helps me to have the correct structure and the correct positioning when I work around the dummy. So this is my starting point. So the first footwork pattern that I'm going to do around the dummy is 3 angle, step slide, 3 angle, and then repeat it back and forth. Step slide, 3 angle. So the hand techniques that I'm doing is, when I do the 3 angle, palm and tan. Ganjam, Quan, palm strike, and tan. Ganjam, Quan, palm strike, and tan. So that's repeated over and over. So a few key pointers that I'm looking at as I do this footwork pattern and hand techniques around the dummy is a couple of things. I'm looking at, of course, my distance is correct. So if my distance is correct, I have strong structure. My arm structure, my torso, and my legs are all being supported. So if I was too far away or if I'm leaning, the structure is weak. So again, if I'm too close, the structure is weak. Also, you have to look at side to side torso rotation, which can weaken your structure. So basically speaking, in this position, I have 2 contact points. I'm balancing out my structure between those 2 points. If my torso is facing my tansao too much, it makes my palm weak. If my torso is facing my palm strike too much, it makes the tansao jammed up and weak. I want to balance. I have to find that balance of the structure to where my hands are on the dummy. Same thing in all of the techniques. My hands in this position are right on my own center line, here. So I don't want my hands to be here or here. My hands are right in front of me, so I have to use my footwork to adjust my body, to adjust my arms, to be in the right position in relationship to the center of the dummy. My energy is always going to the center. When you're first doing this footwork pattern and hand techniques, don't worry about hitting the dummy hard, and don't worry about going fast. You are trying to find the correct position, so take your time, feel the correct position, is it correct, and then go to the next one. Just place it there. You don't have to smash your way into the dummy. Just place your hands in the right position. Once the position is correct, the footwork will be able to be quicker and puts your hands more into the correct position. It's not your arms just crashing into the dummy arms. It's your body placing your hands there. And then, once the position is correct, and the distance is correct, and the structure is correct, then you can start adding a little bit of energy to it. So if you add energy too soon, if your structure is incorrect, your positioning is incorrect, or your distance is incorrect, and then you try to add power and speed, you will be ingraining bad habits. You want to be ingraining good habits. You want to be ingraining and developing and honing and refining the principles of Wing Chun. In order to do that, you have to take your time, go one by one, make sure everything is correct, and then you can increase the intensity as you go. So next, I'm going to film Jim doing the same footwork pattern, but I'm going to film it from above so you can get another perspective.
From the starting position, I can start going to the right, 3 angle, in, Ganjam, Quan, Tan, Ganjam, Quan, Tan Palm. Now here, I feel I could be a little bit more to the left, so I'm not crowding my Tan. If I come in too close to the dummy here, I can feel I need to be back a little. Same thing with Quan, if I get in too close. Anytime I'm jamming my structure up or stretching my structure out, I know that I need to make those adjustments with my footwork so that I'm in the proper position and my hands are in front of me. I still have my triangle. My hands are not off to one side or off to one side. They're nice and clean, each position. You're feeling your triangle work. The center is between the two structures. I'm sharing that center line. Shoulder, center. Now, when I'm doing a block and a hit, the hit is going directly to center. The Tan is slightly to the shoulder side. That gives me the good energy on the palm. If I'm facing too much to the center with the Tan, the palm is weak. So you're splitting that difference. This is the blocking line, the attack line. When I do Ganjam, now they're both sharing that center line. It's right down the middle. Nice tight triangle. They're both doing the blocking line. There's no attack. Same thing with Quan. They're both sharing that center line. That's the blocking line going towards the shoulder. The attack line is towards the center of the dummy, direct. I'm slightly facing the shoulder. And every time I finish my motion, everything comes together. The last thing is the back foot slides in, finishes, slides in, slides in, slides in. I feel that final adjustment with the back foot. And I try to balance everything out according to my structure, keeping my triangle, the target, the distance, the position. So in closing, just to go over a few tips. Keep in mind that each person is unique to their movement and distance and position with the dummy. Your techniques and stuff may be set as far as a pattern or however you're doing it, the drill or whatever you're working on. But as far as distance from the dummy and position and those kinds of things vary a little from person to person. We're all unique.
We all are different as far as our height, our width. If I'm doing a technique on the dummy and my position for a strong structure is right here, if it's somebody who's 6 feet tall and their arms are much longer, they're going to be at a little bit different distance. So you have to take that into consideration, that no two people are going to look exactly alike when they're doing the dummy, because it's your structure and position and distance that you're working on developing.
It's still based on the principles, so that'll help you guide as you go.
So that's a wrap for today. We'll catch you next time.